What is my best cold calling technique? So that would be to establish the metric that the person I'm speaking to uses to measure their success. So this is going to vary from persona to persona. If I'm talking to a sales director who has a number of reps, it's likely going to be SQLs or meetings booked or demos. If I'm talking to a marketing director, it's probably going to be MQLs or simply responses. Everyone has their own metric. But if you can establish their metric, you can then go on to establish and understand where they are now using that metric and where they want to be in an ideal world. And by doing that, you can start to deliver real value by saying, we're going to take you from here to here. And it's really going to resonate with them as well because you're talking their language.
When I am going into the cold call, I want to outline to the prospect as soon as possible that I've done my research on their particular situation. So often in my opening pitch, I make sure that I've stated the verticals that they target, as well as typically what client they go after. And this kind of sets the tone for the rest of the call and ensures that immediately they know I've come in prepared.
Definitely using humour. I'm quite a cheeky person by nature, so calling up, it works particularly well on British people, but it works quite well on a Dutch as well. Calling up, being cheeky, being sarcastic, just gets people to open up and gets people to realise you are human, because people buy from other people ultimately. There's something that I used which was great during the start of COVID. Obviously I've changed this now, but I would call them up and be like, talk me through your work from home setup. Like, do you have a plush little office? Are you fully kitted out, or are you sat on a small little sofa with a baking tray for a table on your knees? Like, talk me through it. And it used to get a great little chuckle, and people, most people are in the middle ground, so it's really great to bond over.
I mean, it's a tricky one because it does just depend the kind of level of authority that you've got through to, but you know, say that you've got through to like a decision maker on their direct dial, which is obviously just golden when you're a sales rep. I think the best thing to do is just to introduce yourself, your company, and ask if it's a bad time, because my mentor actually taught this, that if you ask that, it's more likely going to be a yes, it's a bad time, but at least yes is a positive answer. Whereas if you ask if it's a good time, more likely it will be a no, and that's kind of started your conversation on a negative. It also allows you to find a time that is better for them so that you can properly go through with your pitch and you've got more time to prepare your call. I just think the best thing to do is just to level with the prospect. Like, don't pretend that you're anything but, you know, a salesperson, and do it respectfully and professionally. Get in there with a quick hook, you know, say the value straight up. And, you know, if someone's like, is this a sales call? Just be like, God, am I that transparent? You know, I think the best way to do that is just to push back and just try and, you know, have fun with it, really.
So this is something that I've tried fairly recently, and it's trying to disarm my prospects sooner rather than later. So when I do get somebody on the phone, everybody knows how hard it is to get them to hear you out. So the first question that I ask is, hey Joe, is now a bad time to talk? Typically people aren't expecting that. They're normally expecting something like, have you got a few minutes to speak? But this is a really good way of giving someone an easy out. And typically people will try and hear you out and help you out if they can.